Chris Schultz, 6 foot, 210 pounds.
I'm JT. I'm 5'18", 230. Hello, my name is James O'Donnell. I go by JT or JT Hawk. I was born in Madison, Wisconsin. I was raised in Louisiana and Texas. I had some exposure to smaller theatrical productions when I was in elementary school. Got away from it, and I have, when I was in college, I took one drama class. It was the fall semester that I took the class. In the spring semester, they were actually running the production of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and my professor, who I had the drama class with, felt that I could carry the part, so I went in and I auditioned, and I was cast as the creature in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. They needed a big dumb guy with a flat head, so I fit the part. I actually have it on VHS. There's actually several funny stories with it. I was actually, they had some technical problems or issues that were apparent on how they were going to pull off certain things. Well, I said, why don't you guys just ask the track team? I said, I can talk to the coach. We'll get a pole vault mat, have it behind the set, and I'll fall out the window, land on the mat, and everything will be fine. And they went, you'd be willing to do that? Everything went through flawlessly, through all the rehearsals, the dress rehearsals, the whole 9 yards. Opening night, we come to the scene, which is actually one of the first, it's like the second act where I actually come to life, and they walk into the lab and they kind of chase me around, and that's the scene where I fall out the window. Well, basically 2 stories on a pole vault mat. The person, because the backstage is dark, is there to guide me out for makeup change and so on and so forth. So somebody had pushed the pole vault mat all the way up against the back of the set. So I fall out the window like I normally fall out, and my ass hits the very outside edge of the pole vault mat. My feet go up in the air and my head comes down on the ground. Well, if anybody knows the theater, the front half of the stage is where all the false floor is, and you know, the under thing, so you can get, so that's basically wood. Well, back of the set, concrete. Well, I landed flat on my head, and the funniest part was that the young kid that was assigned to do my makeup for me, drama major, and he's like totally freaking out. He's like, oh my god, they killed Frankenstein, we killed Frankenstein, how are we gonna do the show? And you know, it was like 5 people were over to me, but by the time they got to me, I was already standing up and starting to walk, and they was like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? I was fine. Safest place to hit me is in the head. And it just made my head that much flatter. So went on with the rest of the show, kept going, and then another incident towards the end of the 3rd act, where I confront Frankenstein's bride-to-be to basically kill her. The scene calls for me to throw her onto a settee, and behind which was a table. Which, the way the act or the scene went, we had this huge, one of the alumni to the theater and the university had loaned for this specific production, this absolutely gorgeous, huge, it was like 18 to 24 inches tall candelabra that had like 4 or 5 spokes that came out, 5 candles in it. We used live candles, and it was setting on that table. Well, when they had set the furniture up for the scene, instead of setting the table behind the settee, it was actually lipped up over the top back edge of the settee. So it was already, when it had been placed there, was leaning at a little bit of an angle. Well, when I threw her down into the settee, I immediately stepped towards her as the scene had called for, and I was big enough that I could straddle the settee, and that's what I was doing. And out of the corner of my eye, because of my motion of throwing her in, candelabra just start to tilt out of my peripheral vision, and I'm reciting my lines. So I reach out and I grab it, just with keeping my focus on her, and I grab it as an emphasis as I'm still reciting my line. I get it in my hand and I just slam it down on the table and make sure that it's, you know, secured, and I finish the scene. The funny part was the theater was so dead quiet, and the patron that had actually loaned the candelabra to the university for this production happened to be very good friends with the director, who she was sitting right next to. And I heard it on stage as the candelabra started to tilt or lean. I heard this. It was like somebody was like, "Oh my God, my candelabra!" But after the show was all done and everything else that had taken place, she actually thanked me personally for saving the candelabra. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but she obviously did. And basically, I've never been able to equal the rush, the excitement, adrenaline, the empowerment that I had when I was on stage in any aspect of my life. And I've done a lot of different things. But again, I love a physical challenge. God, do I love a physical challenge. And maybe that's why I enjoyed it was like the perfect part for me in that aspect. And if it winds up being the only part that I ever have in any production, I'll always have that. I like to be a team player. I like to contribute. I was raised in such a way that I'll do whatever it takes to get the job done, to make it come together, to make it happen. Whatever I can do to contribute, no matter how minuscule, no matter how exhausting, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done.